Brought to you by the New Jersey Education Association.
Welcome back to Capital Report. We're pleased to have Chris Bollwage, who is the mayor of the great city of Elizabeth. Good to see you, Mayor.
Good to see you, Steve.
Mayor, thank you
Let's
for
talk
coming.
about a non-controversial topic. How's that?
Do they have them in New Jersey?
No, they do not. So we're going to talk about the reevaluation of property. Is it not a fact that in the great town of Elizabeth, your property has not been reevaluated for 40 years?
37, I think it's somewhere
thanks for
around there.
37, but who's counting?
So here's the thing. Governor Christie and some others say, come on, Elizabeth, Jersey City, and some other towns, it's been too long. My hometown of Montclair, I only know this because it happens on a regular basis. They reevaluate the property based on the value of the property. They reassess your property tax. What's going on in your town and why should it be different?
It shouldn't be different. First of all, the law that we have in New Jersey is a bit outdated. I mean, it goes back to the 1940s or 1950s. There needs to be something similar to Florida where it's done every year or every 2 years. But the rules that Governor Christie and his administration put on these municipalities to have it done by November of 2017 is clearly capricious.
Why? It's a year and a half.
It can't get done. I mean, we have in excess of 18,000 property tax accounts. You're talking about surveys and going into every house, finding out if they've had extensions or new buildings. It just can't get done. It's arbitrary and capricious. The city council is going to file permission for the city attorney to challenge their order in court. Clearly, we believe that it's going to have to be done at some time, but now is not the time.
But Mayor, right now you're in violation of their order. You're not compliant. What could happen to the city of Elizabeth?
Well, clearly they're in violation of their own process. They have an acting divisor of taxation. And the law says that the director of the division of taxation is the one that can issue orders. And the Christie administration, as we know from prosecutors and a lot of other positions throughout the state, they've never sought Senate confirmation on a lot of the folks who are in a position to give these instructions. So when you talk about orders, the law is clear, and the person giving the order does not have the authority to give it.
So why is this happening now?
You'd have to ask the governor that. I mean,
what do you think?
Well, clearly there's political games here.
What's the benefit for the governor?
There is no benefit for the governor. It's clearly his ability on urban policy. There's never been a Governor Christie that's in favor of policy that benefits urban areas, going from urban enterprise zones to taking away motor vehicle agencies in the city of Elizabeth to reevaluation. You notice he structured urban areas first before he went after the Westfields of the world.
But let me ask you this, Mayor, just on a basic fairness question. What do you say to, there are 560 some odd municipalities in the state of Jersey, what do you say to others who have had their property reevaluated on a regular basis? Therefore, their property taxes have gone up based on the reevaluation, property values go up. What do you say, who they say, come on, when will you get this done? Because 37 years is enough. What would you say to them? Forget about Governor Christie in this.
Sure. The city of Elizabeth is 47% of our land is tax exempt. We are the host to all county facilities. The airport's tax exempt, county facilities, the seaport's tax exempt. So when you take in the land mass of the city of Elizabeth and 47% is tax exempt, therefore, and you then order a reevaluation, we're not saying the reevaluation should not be done. We're just saying it should be done in a fair way. Now, take in all of the foreclosures that have occurred since 2008 to current. And
the financial collapse?
The financial collapse. Now, cities are just climbing out of the foreclosure process. So you're making us reevaluate when the sale of properties are clearly not in line with what the market is. Are we higher? Yeah, but clearly there's been a way drop-off. This is a process that should be done fair and equitable. And to answer your question, when other towns say it should be done, the law in New Jersey should be clearly changed that says you should do county by county reevaluation.
You say you don't mind doing the reevaluation, but you do, right? Because, I mean, the residents of Elizabeth are going to get hurt. Yeah. The majority of the residents, you really want to put this up.
They're going to pay higher property taxes, aren't they?
They're not going to pay higher, probably municipal property taxes, but they're going to pay higher county property taxes.
But you don't want that.
Happen. No, because if you pay, our argument is if we're 47% tax exempt and we're hosting all of the county facilities as the county seat in the city of Elizabeth, and you force us to do a reevaluation, then clearly when the other towns say, well, hey, but we handle the courts, we handle everything else
the question
for
is
all of these other suburban towns.
So the mayor, to those who say, well, you haven't done it in 37 years and you're putting it off now because you really don't want to do it, it's not because it's technically difficult, you say?
There's a process. And clearly, when somebody issues an order on April 4th and they
Yeah.
give you 90 days to answer,
Exactly.
we plan to answer in that 90-day period.
Real quick, the East Grand Plaza Supermarket is a big deal. Create 90 jobs. Talk about it. I'm going to show some visuals of it.
Yeah, 90 jobs was the former New Jersey Transit bus garage. It's now been converted and structure is going up. It's going to create a supermarket, 90 permanent jobs. There's probably 80 to 100 construction jobs going on out there right now. This clearly is a project that's going to benefit a part of the community that has no access to a supermarket by walking or easy buses. And we're really excited about this proposal.
Real quick about Elizabeth. Bullish on Elizabeth because?
You know, when we can build Jersey Gardens Mall and have a large mall and hotels, and Broad Street, Elizabeth Avenue, and our major shopping districts are still at 95 to 98% occupancy, it means the city of Elizabeth is vibrant and thriving. One of my favorite things is somebody drives me around the city, gets me from stop to stop, and the driver will complain about traffic, and I say, don't complain about traffic. It's a great problem to have.
And speaking of traffic, in just 1 minute, the City Council of Elizabeth voted not to allow Uber to go to the airport or to go to the train station. What's up with that?
Yeah, you know, it was more about the fairness issue on Uber and the taxi cab industry and trying to strike a balance. It wasn't about banning Uber at any stretch of the
It
imagination.
was about banning Uber.
No,
not
it
to go.
wasn't.
I mean, you can't do it because the Port Authority runs it.
Well,
but-
that's where we disagree, because Uber was about it banning Uber. That's the position Uber took. This was the position about fairness, that if you need fingerprinting and you need background checks for taxi cab drivers, why don't you need them for Uber and Lyft drivers?
Chris Bollwage is the bullish mayor of the great city of Elizabeth. Fourth, how big?
We're the fourth largest
Fourth
city.
largest city in the great state of New Jersey. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate joining
Thank you,
us.
Steve. Thank you, Rafael.
Steve Adubato. That's Rafael Piorman. This is Cap Report. This is the Agnes Vera studio at NJTV. We'll see you next week. Can you tell that was ad-libbed?
That's what I call- that's what I-
My husband and I spent more than 30 years in the public schools. We're retired, but we like to stay involved.
You think he's going to learn to fly?
We're just as busy now as in our teaching days. The same goes for a lot of the retired educators we know.
Let me see you all flap your wings like you're penguins learning to fly.
Teaching is all about building relationships, and that never goes away. Because once a teacher, always a teacher. We're Ed and Miriam, and we are proud to be New Jersey educators.
Also brought to you by the North Ward Center, the New Jersey State Nurses Association, and the Institute for Nurses, and by International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825.